Hey, what's going on everybody? This is Noble, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my Eldlich / Magical Musketeer deck profile. So this is one I played a lot of online. Obviously I didn't profile this yet because I didn't want to pay 300 bucks for a Golden Lord. I actually pulled one in my Secret Slayer opening back when I first started the channel pretty much. But I ended up selling it for like 115 bucks. But now that Eldlich is literally a $7 card, it looks absolutely amazing in this gold rare. I was really happy to be able to profile this. Now, the fact that this card is so accessible is really, really cool. Cards like Cursed Eldland is like 16-20 bucks a piece now, which sucks. But overall, the deck is way more playable because you're not having to drop $300 for a playset of this bad boy, or even if you're playing two, that's still like 200 some bucks, you know. So real quick before we jump into this, I just want to mention, if you're here and you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell so you become a part of the notification team, and give this video a thumbs up if you like it, because it allows my videos to circulate around YouTube, which is very critical for a small YouTuber like myself. So without further ado, guys, let's get into this. So to kick this off, we are playing double Eldlich the Golden Lord. If you wanted to max this out, you could do that. I personally just like 2 in this build. Like I said, I've been playing this a ton online, and you know, 2 just seems a little more optimal to me. But again, if you want to max this out, you could do that. That'd be fine. But like I said, it's phenomenal that this card is $7 now, as opposed to like 150, 120 like it was. Like that just blows my mind. Reprints are an amazing thing. So Eldlich the Golden Lord. If you aren't familiar with what this card does, you can send this card and one spell or trap card from your hand to the graveyard, then target one card on the field, send it to the graveyard. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send one spell trap card you control the graveyard and add this card back to your hand. Then you can special summon one zombie monster from your hand, and if you do, until the end of your opponent's turn, it gains 1,000 attack and defense and cannot be destroyed by card effects. You'll use each effect of Eldlich the Golden Lord once per turn. This card is really crucial, obviously, because we're playing an Eldlich Magical Musketeer build, and you know, like I said, if you wanted to run this at 3, you could do that, but 2 seems pretty optimal to me. So for the Magical Musketeers, I'm playing triple Caspar. Now, if you wanted to play 2 of Caspar, you could do that. Me personally, I find that running an entire playset of them works a lot better. I'm a huge fan of the Magical Musketeers to begin with. So if you're not familiar with what the Magical Musketeers do, basically, if you control a Magical Musketeer monster during either player's turn, you can activate your Magical Musket spells and traps from your hand. So that by itself is really amazing because it allows you to have a really kind of unique form of disruption, to where the Magical Musket spells and traps are powerful cards, and being able to activate them from your hand is really cool because your opponent doesn't have a chance to destroy them on the field unless they rip it from your hand. And you know, your opponent's really just, it's scary because your opponent see your handful of cards like, oh god, he could have 5 disruptions in his hand or something like that. And then when a spell and trap card is activated in their columns, they have a certain effect fires off. So what Caspar does when a spell and trap card is activated in his column, you can add a Magical Musket card from your deck to your hand, but not a card with the same name as the one you just activated. So like if you activate Last Stand, you can't search out a Last Stand, you can maybe grab a Desperado, but most of the time it's not really a big deal. Just being able to add any Magical Musket card from your deck to your hand is really cool, and I mean, you can grab a monster too if you need to do that. I'm also playing triple Starfire. I really like Starfire. Again, I'm maximizing this one out as well. If you wanted to run double Starfire, you could do that. But what she does when a spell and trap card is activated in her column, you can special summon a level 4 or lower Magical Musket monster from your deck in defense position, except another copy of this card. So being able to special summon from the deck is amazing, and a lot of times if you don't open with Caspar, you're probably going to go for Caspar unless you need something else for a different situation. But Starfire is awesome. If you'd rather run 2 Caspar, 2 Starfire, that's fine. That really is fine. You can do that. Personally, me, I just like playing triple of both. I'm running double Kid Brave. Kid Brave is the built-in draw power of the Magical Musketeer. Same thing. During either player's turn, you activate Magical Musket spell and trap cards from your hand. And then if a spell and trap card is activated in this card's column, you can discard a Magical Musket card and draw 2 cards. You only use this effect once per turn. Kid Brave is really cool. If you wanted to bump down on a Caspar or Starfire one and then run 3 of him, you can do that because, like I said, he is a really cool draw power engine for the deck. I'm running 1 Doc. What Doc does, if one is activated in his column, you can add a Magical Musket card from your graveyard to your hand, but same restriction as Caspar, not one with the same original name as the activated card. Calamity is cool because she if a spell trap card is activated in her column, you can target a Magical Musket monster graveyard and special summon defense positions, so kind of like a Monster Reborn a little bit. And then I'm running 1 Wild as well. if a spell and trap card is activated in his column, you can target 3 magical musket cards in your graveyard, shuffle all 3 back into the deck, and then draw a card. If you wanted to actually get rid of wild, you could. I don't use it as much. I do use it sometimes, but not as much as the other ones. And then lastly, for the monsters, I'm running triple Droll and Lock because I actually have a play set now, and you have no idea how excited I am about that. I actually really like Droll and Lock, and sometimes I prefer it over Ash because Droll and Lock lets you get that 1 card, yes, but it's going to stop the rest of your searches from the main deck for the rest of the turn, which is really brutal, especially if you hit your opponent with it when they're just starting all their stuff. I mean, they're gonna have to pass unless they have the pieces in their hand already. If you'd rather run Ash or anything else, you could do that. Ash is definitely amazing and really versatile, but I've just, I've had to scoot because I've gotten hit with Droll and Lock before, and I know how devastating it can be. So, this is definitely up to choice and preference. If you want to run something else, you could do that. So that's it for the monsters, not a very massive monster package. So for the spells, I'm running double Magical Musket Cross Domination. So Cross Dom is freaking great. It's a quick play spell, which in this deck, they all are pretty much. But if you control a Magical Musket monster, you target 1 face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn, changes attack and defense to 0, and then its effects are negated. You only activate 1 Magical Musket Cross Domination per turn. So this is really cool. It's basically like a lost win. It puts their attack and defense to 0 and negates their effects. It does target, so there is that one caveat. It can't get past protection of non-targetable monsters. But this is a really powerful card, and the fact that you can activate it from your hand in your opponent's turn is really, really strong. I'm running, well, technically 3, but low-key 1 of the Cursed Eldland. Don't judge me. I ordered these like 2 weeks ago, and I pulled this one and ordered, the other 2 weeks ago, and they still aren't here. And I just didn't want to keep waiting to make this profile. So these 2 should be a 3rd copy of Cursed Eldland. I'm running double Black Awakening. Now, if you wanted to bump Black Awakening down to 1, I've seen that done. Some people don't even like Black Awakening. I mean, that's fine. The great thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is you can play a deck literally however you want to play it. But what Black Awakening does is you special summon a zombie monster from your hand or deck in defense position. But if you control no Eldlich monsters, you can only special summon Eldlich monsters with this effect. For the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters like zombie monsters. You can banish this card from your graveyard, set 1 golden land spell and trap card directly from your deck. You only use 1 elixir of Black Awakening effect per turn, and only once that turn. I'm running 1 elixir of White Destiny. You special summon a zombie monster from your hand or graveyard, but if you control no Eldlich monsters, you can only special summon Eldlich monsters with this effect. For the rest of this turn, for the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters except zombie monsters during your main phase. You can banish this card from your graveyard, set 1 golden land spell and trap card directly from your deck, and same thing, you'll use this effect once per turn and only once that turn. I'm running an Upstart. If you want to get rid of Upstart, that's fine, you could do that, but Upstart's really cool, especially in this deck, because it's not only does it like let you draw a card, yeah, your opponent gains 1,000 life points, but who cares about that in this day and age of Yu-Gi-Oh? But if you activate it in like Caspar's column, you get a search and a draw. If you activate Starfire's column, you get a special summon from the deck and a draw. Like it's really, really cool in this deck, particularly because not only getting to draw a card, you're getting to do something else as well. So that's why I like playing it in this one. That's it for the spells. I do want to mention, if you wanted to run Extrav in this deck, you could do that. I did do it for a while, and it is a really powerful thing in this deck because you don't rely extremely heavily on your extra deck, except with Max. And I took it out because like I was just hitting Max every single time, and it was really hurting me. So I took it out. But if you have better, luck than me or whatever, if you wanted to run Extrav, that's fine. You could totally do that, and it does work sometimes. But for me, I was just hitting Max too much, and Max is an insanely powerful card, so I needed it. So let's get into the traps. We're playing quite a big trap lineup. So to start off with, I'm running double Last Stand. Now, a lot of people run Last Stand at 1, and if you want to, that's fine. But if you know me, if you've been watching my videos, you know I absolutely love archetype specific negates. Negates especially, but this is Spell and Trap negate, which I still really love it. What it does, it's a counter trap when your opponent activates a Spell and Trap card while you control a Magical Musket monster, which you're probably going to. You negate the activation, destroy that card, and then you only activate 1 per turn. And yes, you could get away with 1 for sure, but this having multiple copies of this card in my deck have really saved me, and I like kind of having that peace of mind knowing, okay, I burned through one last stand, but I have another one, like next turn or something. It's nice to know. And yeah, you can get Graveyard Recursion back, and that's fine, but you know, me personally, I like running 2 of this. If you wanted to bump this one down, you could absolutely do that. That would not be a problem. I am running double Desperado because Desperado is freaking great. If you control Magical Musket monster, you target face-up card on the field and destroy it. And it can even be back row, or a field spell or something that's really cool. This card, like, you know, running pure Magical Muskets, I run 3 of this and I burn through all 3. Like, I definitely use every copy of Desperado every single game. This card is really, really great. I'm running 1 Dancing Needle. If you wanted to bump up Dancing Needle and swap out that spot with the last stand, you could do that. Dancing Needle is powerful. If you control a Magical Musket monster, you target up to 3 cards in the graveyard and banish them. So basically, if you're not playing against Thunder Dragon, this is a really powerful card. Being able to get rid of up to 3 resources from your opponent's graveyard, that's really powerful. So for the Eldlich stuff, I'm playing triple Scarlet, I don't know how to say it, Sanguine, I believe is how you say it. So what this does is you special summon a zombie monster from your deck or graveyard. But if you control no Eldlich monsters, you know, special summon Eldlich monster with this effect for the rest of this turn. After this card resolves, you can special summon monsters except zombie monsters. You banish this card from your graveyard, set a golden land spell and trap card directly from your deck, and you can only use 1 Scarlet Sanguine effect per turn, and only once that turn. These cards look so good too. Like, they look, oh my gosh, they look so great. Playing triple Conquistador. Conquistador is freaking great. You special summon this card as a normal monster, zombie, light, level 5, attack 500, defense 1800. This card is also still trapped. Then, if you control Eldlich the Golden Lord, you can destroy 1 face-up card on the field. During the end phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Set 1 Eldlich spell and trap card directly from your deck. You only use 1 Conquistador effect per turn, and only once that turn. I'm pretty sure everyone knows about Conquistador. I'm running Double Haquero. I believe I said that right. You special summon this card as a normal monster, zombie light, level 5 attack, 1800, defense 1500. These cards are also still trapped. Then, if you control Eldlich the Golden Lord, you can banish 1 card from either graveyard, which is really cool. During the end phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, set 1 Elixir spell and trap directly from your deck, and you can only use 1 Haquero of the Golden Land effect per turn, and only once that turn. And I'm also running double Golden Land Forever. If you wanted to bump this one down, that's fine. You don't always have, need 2 of these cards. If you I want to reiterate this, if you wanted to run an extra Dancing Needle, that's probably a good idea. You could do that and swap out this or a Last Stand or something like that. But Golden Land Forever is counter trap when a spell and trap card or monster effect is activated while you control an Eldlich monster. Tribute 1 zombie monster to negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. So Omnigate, really, really powerful. I really love this card. And it's archetype specific, which, hey, extra points. And then lastly, just playing triple Imperm. Again, I always say, and I'll continue saying it until this card's like a $5 card. If you don't have Imperm, you can get around that. You don't have to have this card. Maybe run some effect veilers or something like that, or some gammas. You don't have to have this card. It is like 20 bucks a piece now. So you're looking at like 60 bucks or maybe 19 or something like that. For mostly a playset now. So, it's going down a little bit, little by little, and then it'll jump back up. So I don't really know what the heck's going on with this, but if you do have it, I do recommend you running it, but there's definitely substitutes for it. And no, I'm not running droplets or talents in this. I'm really hesitant to throw in a playset of $70, $90 cards, $110 cards in these kind of profiles because, they're just really expensive. But again, if you have those cards, you could definitely use them. They're super expensive for a reason. They're really amazing. Okay, so that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's go into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're starting off with Triple Max. Triple Max is like, in my opinion, is pretty non-negotiable. Like, you really need to have Triple Max in any Magical Musketeer build you have. Max is an insanely powerful card. If you're not familiar with this card, let me introduce you to it. It's 1 level 8 or lower Magical Musket monster, so literally all your Magical Musket monsters. A Link 1. Super easy to go into. If this card is Link Summon, you activate 1 of 2 effects. You add Magical Musket spells and traps with different names from your deck to your hand up to the number of monsters your opponent controls. Or, you special summon Magical Musket monsters with different names from your deck up to the number of spell and trap cards your opponent controls. You'll use this effect of Magical Musketeer max once per turn, and then also during either player's turn, you can activate Magical Musket spells and traps from your hand. So this card literally punishes your opponent for having a full board. It is really, really cool. You can search potentially up to like 5, things from your deck. So some up to 5 things, 6 things from your deck. Like, it is really, really cool. Search. Like, this card is so powerful, and just it's so easy to go into, and it gains you so much advantage. So much advantage. I absolutely recommend you run this card at 3. This card is freaking great. This card is like the saving grace for Magical Muskets, because you can just search or special summon and get a full board. Oh my gosh, I love that card. I'm running 1 Vampire Sucker. I'm also running 1 IP. As well as IP, I'm running 1 Cerberus, 1 Phoenix, and then also 1 Nightmare Unicorn. For the Link 4s, I'm running 1 Boral Sword. So your Magical Musket monsters don't really have inherently good attack. You can get a full board, yeah, and you can like kind of attack a ton if you're able to do that. And I'm not running Steady Hands in this particular deck, which, if you don't know what Steady Hands does, Steady Hands doubles your Magical Musket's attack and defense for the turn, but they can't attack directly. That's the only caveat with it, which is really cool, and that does help, but I'm not running that in this build. I just didn't really have room. I didn't really think it'd be worth it. But Boral Sword doesn't have that problem. Boral Sword can OTK your opponent. It's still a really great card, and it's also super cheap with the alternate art. Gold Rare is super cheap as well. So yeah, I'm also running 1 Avermax. Avermax is absolutely amazing. I absolutely love this card. I always say this $2 boss monster that can win you games, and he is. And then again, on the other side of the spectrum, we have Access Code, who is not a $2 boss monster, but a $70 boss monster. This card is freaking great. You can go into this card pretty easily in this deck, and this card can also win you games. I'm running a few Exceeds as well. I'm running double Constellar Pallades, I think is how you say it. Having double copies of this card, I have used both of them a few times, and I've been glad I did that. If you wanted to put something else in and just run 1, that's fine, but once per turn quick effect, you need to attach a material from this card, then target 1 card on the field and return that target to the hand. That's really helpful. And then lastly, I'm running 1 Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max, and then also 1 Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Juggernaut Liebe, but I say Liebe. I think Liebe sounds a lot cooler, so I say Liebe. Yeah, you can go to this also in this deck, and this card is freaking insane. So that's actually it for the deck profile, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this one. This deck, like, I've had an absolute blast playing this online, and now able to actually have the physical Golden Lords like in my hand is really, really cool. And also, like, being able to get a playset of Golden Lord for like 21 bucks is freaking amazing. That is so crazy. We've had such an amazing amount of reprints this year. The card price at the start of the year versus the card prices now are crazy. All we need is that BLS link to go down some, and impermanence to finally just drop, and we'll be set. But yeah, guys, that's it for the deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it. As I said in the beginning, if you're here and you haven't already done so, if you like this video, hey, give it a thumbs up, hit the bell so you become part of the notification team, and also, but go ahead and subscribe before you do all of that. Guys, I really appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. We're getting close to 2K, and I am absolutely thrilled. I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.